Talking Cougar basketball with the head coach of the Columbia College women's basketball team, Coach Jessica Keller, joining myself, Cosmo, here with our coach's show. And coach, the season over, 26-4, regular season. You get kind of the tail of two ends of the season. You start 19-0 and then down the stretch, so a little tough go for you. You've lost 3 of your last 4 as you get ready for the AMC tournament. Let's start with the end of the season a little bit, that tough road swing at Lyon, which you knew was going to be a tough challenge, and then the Williams Baptist game, a couple of tough losses back-to-back nights. Talk about how that went for your ball club.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a tough trip. Good ball clubs when we go down there, and Williams Baptist is really playing well down the stretch this year. Important for us to kind of maybe try to bring some momentum, and we made some really good runs while we were down there, but just couldn't quite build ourselves a lead or get ahead after we had dug ourselves a nice little hole on the road. I think it was good for us, though. We're going to have to go on the road and play, and now we know kind of things that work and don't work and how to adjust on the fly.
And again, we've said this conference has gotten a lot better from top to bottom, and especially that second time around. You faced a team after a semester. I don't know if those teams specifically were able to make any changes personnel-wise at the semester or not, but anytime you start playing a team a second time and now into the tournament potentially a third time, it gets tough to make that happen every time you get wins every time.
It does, and they make adjustments. They did add some players that we didn't see the first time around at Williams Baptist, and just kind of played a little bit different defensively for us, and we had to adjust. It's good for us. We've seen some junk defenses now down the stretch. We saw a triangle and 2 on Saturday, and some things that we haven't maybe had to prepare for. And now I don't know if there's going to be a lot of tricks for us for the national tournament.
Which is a good thing. Like you said, you got to take every opportunity. Unfortunately, sometimes it's the opposite of the fun and the glory and all the accolades that come along with going undefeated for as long as you guys were at 19-0. And then all of a sudden, kind of the reality hits your girls a little bit in the face, saying, "Hey, look, this season is coming to a close quickly. We got to figure out how to right the ship." And you guys did for sure come back home and had that impressive win over Park here a week ago on senior night. Just jumped out of the gates like crazy and did some very good things in that ball game. Talk about what worked well for your ladies that night.
Yeah, we shot the ball really well that night, and that was important for us because we've struggled to shoot it in the last few games. And on the road, we shot one half 25%. We shot over 65% and a half at home against Park on that Thursday. So we were moving the ball extremely well. We had a ton of assists. We valued the ball. We did not have a lot of turnovers. And then we did a good job in the zone. We ran a zone defense that night and did a good job staying aggressive without getting too far overextended.
Sometimes the emotion of the senior night can derail a game plan quickly, and it was good that you certainly jumped out to a strong start. I think it was, 24-1, I think, first quarter score. Obviously, they were struggling to score and shoot the ball, but your defense and rebounding certainly helped in your cause, at least in that first quarter, and put to rest any potential 3-game losing skid at all that night.
Definitely, and that was, as I talked about in the paper, a huge sigh of relief. We came in after the first quarter, and we were up 24-1. We felt good about our chances in that game. First really good start we'd had in a long time, and again, we talk about the emotions of senior night. There were a few times that maybe our seniors seemed a little over anxious, I guess would be the best term, but they settled in really nicely, and we had a ton of players step up. Ashley Marlett and Morgan Brandt knocked down some jumpers early in the game against their defense as well, and that really spread it open for Corey Hamilton and Petrolina Shalaka and our seniors that came off the bench to get some of theirs. After
that win, then you went on the road on Saturday, the big rival at William Woods, and had a 5-point loss. So back to the loss column a little bit again. What didn't you guys do well on that Saturday at William Woods in Fulton?
Yeah, we didn't close the game very well. We had gone on a nice run, and we built an 11-point lead late in the game. We let them kind of come back. They hit 2 threes pretty quickly to respond, and we actually fouled a 3-point shooter. And then, we missed a jumper. We were up 1 and with a minute left, and then fouled up 1. And so we didn't close the game the way that we know how to, and we've learned from that. We watched film on the game. We learned a lot that, down the stretch, those 1 or 2 possessions really matter now. It's not going to be a 30 or 40-point game every night.
You had to stop a little bit, and because the losses kind of came in a bunch at the end, you still finished the season at 26-4. Considering the conference that you play in and the amount of games that you play to only have 4 losses, I think it seems almost like there's 10 or 12 losses because they kind of came at the end. What is the overall mindset since the Saturday loss in practice with the student athletes and getting ready for the conference tournament?
Yeah, well, we talked a lot about the perspective of it. 26-4. We asked a lot of the girls, have any of them been 26-4? And through February 17th, we were 25-1, and so we held the best record in the country. And so we just remind the girls that we're a top team. We deserve to be there. It may have felt poorly then, but it's good for us to face some adversity before we show up. In the tournaments here in the conference tournament, and then again the national tournament. But we just really talked about we've put ourselves in a position to be successful, and now it doesn't matter what happened those last 30 games because it's anybody's ball game. Anyone that's playing this time of year has a chance.
Absolutely, and at number 11 in the top 25, you have to stop and remind, it wasn't, the season was remarkable in some records as being the highest ranking ever in the program at number 3, and like you said, put it in perspective for them a little bit, but at the same time, right back to it. Home court's been good for you guys. You haven't lost at home, 16-0, I think, on the season. You'll get at least one, if not two games back at Southwell, and you start things off a rematch with Park once again. I don't think we'll see another 24-1 first quarter. Well, maybe, hopefully we do, if it's for you guys, but most likely not the likely case scenario, right?
Right, they've got some great pieces. They had a tough shooting night to start the game. We got their best player in foul trouble, and so we saw some different lineups. She did not play a lot in the second half, and I think coach knew that their coach knew that when the seedings came out, they were probably going to return in a week, and so a little bit of saved her. So we're expecting to see some different looks against Park, but I hope we start out that well, and even better would be great. But realistically, it's going to be a dogfight, and again, we're at home, so we're comfortable here. We have great fans, and our support staff. The way that everything is run here with our game day management is phenomenal, and I think that just leads to the success that we've had here, and we're excited to hopefully stay for a couple more.
And you don't have to hop on a bus. I mean, there is something, whether it's a short trip, a long trip, whether it's one of the long trips down to Arkansas or even just across the county and into Callaway to Fulton, there's a big difference when you have to go away from your normal routine here, where it's not just walk over from the dorm or drive from the apartment and come into the arena to get ready for the game day routine that the ladies have. And it's the 7 o'clock start instead of the 5:30 start time for you guys. But being at home, it's got to feel good, especially since, like I said, you are undefeated here at Southwell.
Yeah, it is great, and our players will have a chance to go to class all day. I think we do a really good job because we're focused all day when we're in classes. And so the days that we've struggled, we've noticed we haven't been in class, whether that's a Saturday or a road trip that maybe we weren't able to get up and get them up at 8 or 9 in the morning. And so we're excited that they have to go to class and be a normal student before that they can really spend too much time worrying about the game, and then we'll take care of business, and they can do kind of their own thing and hang out in their own apartments and dorms and be with their friends and a normal routine like we're used to here at home before we go back to work tomorrow night.
I know, and it's cliche in coach speech a lot, obviously, to talk about the next game all the time, which is what you have to do. But it seems like at this time of the year, sometimes it's tougher for the players to start thinking ahead the next step, when especially the seniors, as their college careers are kind of coming to a close, but you're starting to look ahead to potential trips to Kansas City and the national tournament and trying to break some of the curses that the program has had, if you will, in winning in the national tournament. But how do you keep them focused in practice on just that next game at hand? What's the mindset of that challenge?
Yeah, we are fortunate that we've got some really great senior leaders that are really talking about, I don't want to lose again, and it's not just I don't want to, have an opportunity to go or not go, and we're pretty confident that we're going to get into the national tournament with that 11 spot right now, 11 ranking, and so we've got a lot of seniors that are really focused on the next game, and so it helps as a coaching staff. We can just kind of lean on them a lot, and we talk even less probably about opponents at this point in the season. It's about us and us being better, and everyone knows the things that we're good at and what we're not so good at, and so we're trying to really improve upon our weaknesses and then also be better at our strengths.
Well, the brackets are up on ColumbiaCougars.com. Park is up first, and then you see what happens from there. As the 2 seed, if there is an upset of Lyon, potential for you guys to host the rest of the way, and who knows the way this conference has played out. There's certainly that possibility. You just can only control the games that you've got in front of you. We mentioned those seniors. I want to make sure I don't forget any of them. Corey Hamilton and PC, Petrolina Chilaka, Kiana Pearson, Caprice Marshall, and Brittany Yost. Special night, the senior night the other night. Talk about those seniors and what they've meant for you here in now year 2 as the head coach of the Columbia College Cougars.
Yeah, they all bring such a different dynamic to our program. And, Corey Hamilton is our 4-year player that's been here since day one of her college career. And so, a huge commitment on her side to what this program has become. And, she got her 1,000th point. She entered into the Century Club 100 wins in her career at Columbia College. And those are huge honors. And she's done just a great job. She's the one player that's had that national tournament exposure experience. And so she's ready to go back. She's hungry for a win in that national tournament. But Petrolina Shalaka, has spent quite some time here, and we're thankful that she's come back healthy and missed that senior season last year. We were able to redshirt her, and really she's had the senior season that she wanted. And when she sat out with that injury, she's really had the chance to come back maybe a few weeks at the end, but wanted a full season to contribute. And that kid brings a ton of energy. She and Corey both are our go-to kids at the end of a game. When things are on the line, we're looking at them. And then Brittany Yost she's really become our big post player off the bench that changes what we can do. We can step out and shoot the three, and teams have to adjust on guarding Brittany. And I think as our 8th player in the depth chart, she's really kind of made the difference in some of those close games, especially early in the season. She was the one that was making a difference. So when Brittany's on, we have a really successful night as well. And then you just cannot match what Kiana Pearson and Caprice Marshall bring us off the bench. Ton of energy, ton of leadership. They're great in transition. They control the tempo of our games, and they've just been phenomenal student athletes. They've done a ton outside of basketball in the community. They've worked really hard in the classroom to finish this after this semester, and so we're proud of what all those seniors have done.
And a lot of times it's tough because those two are a couple that their minutes might not be what they, a lot of players that's what they're looking at. They're looking at, the minutes on the stat sheet and more about the number on the jersey maybe than what's on the front, the back of the jersey than what's on the front. And those two could, KP for sure, probably be a starter on just about every team in the AMC and many across the country. But she definitely gives you a complete different look when you can bring her in off the bench as fast as she is and as quick as she is on both ends of the court.
Yeah, and we're thankful that she's really embraced that role of hers and can be a leader even though she's coming off the bench. Caprice Marshall comes off the bench. She's one of our captains for us. And so it's important to have players throughout the team that can lead in their own way. And KP, we did start her a game, and she came and said, I think it's better if I come off the bench because the team plays better. And so, you got to credit a kid that is a senior and really wants the team to do better than maybe she personally would look for, statistics and things. And any of them that focus on any of those minutes and stuff, it's typically, the quality of the minutes and how hard could they play while they were in there. And so we're really fortunate that we have so many selfless players.
And quite a bookend of groups, and obviously that's with 5 of them, you had to start building for the future with the way into your second recruiting season. But your 2 starting freshmen with Ashley and Morgan Brandt, I almost forgot her name, sorry. They unbelievable as far as freshmen that have gotten the start pretty much from day one and have really played an amazing role for this team and the success they've had.
Yeah, they do so much for us. Ashley Marlett is leading the conference in 3-point field goal percentage. She's the best defender we have on the basketball, and it's fun to put her on the opponent's best player. And then the coaches say to me, well, where'd you get that kid? Where'd you get that freshman? And so, Dale Neal down at Fried Hardeman last week, when we traveled down there 2 weeks ago, he said to me what a great player she was. And he's been around the game 22 years. So, a great compliment, a great testament to what she's able to do. And then to be able to shoot the way that she does and still create her own shot. If they come out at her, she gets to the rim very, very well. And she's quick and does a lot for us. And then Morgan Brandt just does so much that doesn't even show up on the stat sheet. She's playing a couple different positions for us on the wing and in the post. And whatever we need her to do, she is 100% willing to do it. And she plays extremely hard and is second on our team in rebounding at 5'10". So, if Corey Hamilton isn't getting the rebound, typically Morgan is. And it's fun to see those two battle in practice. And I think that we have talked to Corey and the team about if Corey wasn't such a great rebounder, would Morgan be having the success that she's having? Because they push each other so hard in practice, and I don't think so. But Morgan really pushes Corey to be good too, and it's fun to see them go to work.
Well, especially when you had some of the upperclassmen looking at these freshmen coming in and going, "Hey, wait a minute, they earned their spot for sure." And I don't want them taking all my minutes or all my rebounds, but that inter-squad competition certainly breeds success on the court. If you had, and I don't know if you've done this yet or not, or you wait till the very end of the season, but as far as handing out some awards, if you will, we'll just kind of pretend here. But who is your surprise? Who is your what do I want to call it? Most improved player of the season, from the beginning of camp to start season 2 for you, Coach, to where we're at now before the tournament start up here? Who do you think is the most improved?
I think right now it's Hannah Sutton, no question. She's come in a lot of games, and she's ready to go when she does get the nod and knock down some big shots. But she's just completely transformed her game to this level. It's a lot faster, a lot more physical, and she's doing a great job with what she's able to do. We're not asking her to go down and work on the block, but she knows that when she's in, she needs to give us great minutes defensively and knock down some shots when she's open and play extremely hard. And she's taken that to heart, and she's done a great job developing her skills and developing some ball handling, against some pressure, and being able to create a little bit more for her teammates instead of just a catch and shoot player.
And that's somebody that had so much success in high school at Warrenton, and records and all kinds of awards and accolades, and both in the classroom and on the basketball court. And sometimes that transition to the next level, you wonder how they're going to handle it. And she's made the adjustments that she's needed to. Sometimes that's harder to teach or coach. Some of those things you can't teach or coach. They just have to. It has to click at some point.
Yeah, and she's a kid that maybe has kind of had a luxury to sit behind Caprice Marshall, Kiana Pearson, Petrolina Shalaka, and learn from them, but she's still pushing them for minutes, and I think that's hugely important for our program because as long as she's competing with some of those kids that, as we talked about, would start against for basically anyone in the country, then we're getting better from the bottom up. And so it's good to see her continue to push, and she's going to have to be a leader next year for us on the perimeter. The
next question, it's kind of hard. It's almost like mom trying to pick her favorite kid, but who would be your MVP?
I think Corey Hamilton's still the MVP. She should be pushing for Player of the Year honors in our league, and she does so much, and you cannot match that work ethic that kid brings every day. And Corey does such a phenomenal job. She's battled injuries. We're not really sure to the extent because she doesn't want to sit out. She won't go to the doctor. So we've had a wrist injury, we've had a foot injury, and she just goes so hard you wouldn't know that she's hurt. And I guarantee opponents don't know that she's hurt. Fans probably don't have any clue what she's battling. But every single day that kid goes hard, and she wins about every sprint. And it doesn't matter if we run 40 or she's had to do all of them or none of them. She's winning everything that she can and going so hard. And then off the floor, she's balancing right now. Graduate school interviews and has been accepted to some PhD programs. And so I think just as an all-around MVP, she's been a great leader on and off the floor and in the classroom and in the community, and then obviously does a ton for us.
Absolutely. Coach Jessica Keller, the Cougars getting ready for the AMC tournament. First matchup is Park. What's the number one thing that you guys have to do to beat them again and advance to the next round?
Yeah, we're going to have to limit their big kid. They got a great post player. I say she's one of the best players in the league, no question about it. Extremely athletic, and we're going to try that zone again, sit in the zone and bring a ton of help to her. But if she gets going, she's got the capability to take over a game. And so we're going to have to continue to keep her off the boards. I thought we did a good job last time we played them to keep her away from the rim and keep people inside of her. And they got her on some lobs. She created a lot of shots within the zone, which is extremely impressive, but we just have to bring a ton of help and commitment to that player.
Columbia College Cougars in the AMC tournament on Thursday night, a win, then back here on Saturday at 4, and then who knows what happens in the rest of the tournament, possibly hosting for a championship game next week. Coach, good luck in the AMC tournament, and then we'll wait around until the 9th, I believe, is the selection date to find out the potential partners and where you go in Kansas City. All right, Coach Jessica Keller, the Columbia College Cougars, the 2 seed, number 11 in the country in the AMC tournament. You can see the first 2 games of that tournament at the Cougars here at Southwell Complex. Again, for the brackets and more, ColumbiaCougars.com. Thanks for watching Cougar Coaches Show here on Mediacom Channel 22.